part of the Press Play Podcast Network.
Look up in the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane, it's...
This is Jason J. Lewis, the voice of Superman on Justice League Action. This is Mark Wade, writer of Superman Birthright, and you're listening to the Krypton Report.
Pennyworth trailer.
Welcome to the Krypton Report, part of the Press Play Podcast Network. I'm your host, Tyler, the Superman of Blue, the man of tomorrow. And with me is that great, great man. Some would even say a legend. That's right. It's Mr. James Cole, the Superman of Red, the Man of Steel himself. How you doing tonight, James?
Oh, I'm pretty good.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares how you're feeling.
I watch Sonic too much with my kids. I was thinking about Jim Carrey. He's like, nobody cares. But no, seriously, what's up, man? How you doing?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Good. Nice afternoon. Just me and the baby.
Very, very ice. Very ice. We like to make ice puns here.
Channeling your Mr. Freeze.
Heck yeah. I told you about, didn't I? I don't know if I said this on mic. We were talking about Batman Day. When I was told Solomon they were showing the Batman movies, and he goes, "Are they showing Batman and Robin?" I said, "No," but he goes, "Ah." He loves the two Schumacher movies, and I get it. They're fun for a kid. They're fun.
Oh yeah. They're great for kids.
So I get that that's the ones like he wishes they were showing, so we could have went and seen. And I'll be honest, I kind of wish they had just showed them all. But anyways, we got some cool stuff to talk about today, and here's some cool news for anybody listening. I will be hosting a Superman panel at the Cincinnati Comic-Con here in like 2 weeks. It'll be on the 24th, I believe. I'm horrible with dates unless I'm looking at my calendar. Yes, the 24th at 6 p.m.
You better have that one nailed down.
Well, it's in my calendar. I live by my calendar. I would cry if I didn't have my calendar. So I'm excited about that. It's going to be pretty cool. But yeah. Come on out if you're there. Stop by.
Yeah, man. I'm proud of you. I'm happy you got that.
I'll
That's
be the
awesome.
guy wearing the Krypton Report shirt. So represent.
Yeah, sadly I won't be there. So
sadly, but it's okay. It's okay. It happened quick.
It's an amazing opportunity, and I'm happy for you.
My beautiful wife is going to come and see me because she's amazing. And I worship the ground she walks on. But I'm not supposed to say that. But anyways, what other news we got, James? I know we got some.
There's a little bit out there.
All right, let's start with the smallest thing first. Okay. So I guess there was rumors that they were doing a new, and I've talked about this before, Scooby-Doo animated film. And I guess it was leaked that it's going to be Scooby-Doo and the Legion. And there were two photos that came out. And that's exciting, man. If this is legit and...
Yeah, wasn't it like Scooby-Doo and you saw like one picture was with the Justice League and another picture was with the Legion?
So one picture is Scooby-Doo and Shaggy on looks like the cosmic treadmill being chased by Solomon Grundy. You see Superboy, and then with the other super, like Superman X or whatever, Chameleon Boy, Wolfsbane, and some other look like Lightning Lad and Brainiac and Saturn Girl in the back. And then the other one is the same as Shaggy and Scooby, and there's Solomon Grundy, Harley, Joker, Zod, Non, Ursa, Orpheora, and Giganta.
Yeah, you could tell that it was Zod, Ursa, and Non.
So, and if that's coming out, I'm extremely pumped. Because that is awesome. I need some more Scooby-Doo in my life. And Scooby-Doo in DC is always fun. So bring it on. So that's all.
They've been doing it for years, for decades.
Yeah, these Scooby-Doo movies are amazing. So the next thing we have, little bit of news, is and I've been hearing this, that Stargirl season 3 is back. I'm one episode behind, and it's just haven't had a chance to watch it yet. But I guess it was stated that the fate of Stargirl will be decided by the end of this month. If it's going to be picked up again or if it's done after this season. So we need to support Stargirl as much as we can. Everybody get out there, watch it. It is like the best DC show that nobody knows is going on.
It is really good. It's really good. They put in a great production quality from the beginning.
And not just that, like I love the characters and like the lessons and everything. Like, so we really need to have that going for the show. Because I would really like to have another season, because it is one that I actually can watch with the kids that they enjoy. And we got that. So everybody get out there, save Stargirl. Okay?
Watch it on HBO Max and watch the new season when it comes out.
Yeah, I've been buying the new season each week. Because I didn't want to like go. I'm tired of going through the app, the CW app. So I just started each week buying the episode. And then eventually I'll just, finish and pay off the whole season.
Yeah, eventually.
Because I just didn't have enough at the moment to buy the whole season. So I just started buying per episode.
Yeah, I feel that. I ain't got I can't buy it yet.
And then let's see. Since we're talking about TV, we'll keep it with the TV. Titans. Season 4 is coming in November, which is exciting because last season was better. It did a better ending than previous seasons, and like I said this before, non-jokingly, like I have a feeling that this will be its last season, but who knows? I mean, who knows?
Yeah, I mean, who knows? It's very possible it could be on the chopping block with any of the originals, but hopefully with the fact that, there is a DC hub here, hopefully they'll keep something original for it.
Mm-hmm.
But it also has to do well. And, they reported back when they greenlit season 4 that it was going to get a significantly increased budget for season 4.
So that means we better see more costumes, more powers, and more Superboy.
Yeah. Absolutely. And, I mean, we have to see more Superboy because we got Lex Luthor.
Yes, we do. And Lex Luthor
Cast.
has been, yes. And I'm going to be honest. When I first saw the photo, I couldn't tell who it was. And the photo was a little dark. And I was like, who is this? And he's got a beard. But they released one photo as a side profile of him talking to Starfire. And the actor is, hopefully I can pronounce his name correctly. Hold on. Titus is the first name I got to pull. I thought it was pulled up, but it wasn't. Come on, Tyler's phone. I literally just had you up. What the heck?
Titus Welliver?
Yes. And
that's what it looks like. It says.
He is an actor that I've seen. He did a show called Bosch recently, but I know him. He was in The Town. He was in, I just drew a blank. I suck.
Well, from the profile, I looked.
Sons of Anarchy. He was in Sons of Anarchy
seen...
in season 3. He was one of the Irish. He was in Argo. He was in Gone Baby Gone. He was in Transformers: Rise of the Fallen. He recently did the voice of Carmine Falcone for The Long Halloween, and then for us Supernatural fans, he was War in season 5.
Ah, okay.
And he was on Grimm too. But I know him mainly from Sons of Anarchy and his appearance in Supernatural. So we have a new Lex Luthor. I'm like excited and nervous at the same time.
I mean, yeah, the way that Titans has skirted the line its entire series run, like it approaches that line of like doing something really good and then just falls over dead.
Yeah, it's like we're doing great, guys. We're doing great, and let's just piss at the end. What? Yep, that's what we're doing. We're going to do great, and then we're just going to fall short at the end. Oh, are you sure? Yes. We don't want to be too good, guys. Okay? Have you seen some of the other stuff? We can't be good, guys.
Right, like the bar is pretty low.
So yeah, I think he's a great actor, and I think he might have something to deliver.
I mean, I'm very much looking forward to the new season of Titans. I've kept up with this show since it's come out, since its debut on DC Universe, and followed it all the way. And there's been a lot to like about the series, and some questionable decisions, but I still I guess I'm still remaining hopeful that we'll get that great season. It's been real, like I said, a lot to like. There's been a lot of really good stuff to keep you going.
It'll be a great season, and that's when it gets canceled.
Yeah. It's like that meme I saw years and years ago about The Walking Dead, because, it's been on that long. So years and years ago, there was a meme about The Walking Dead about how they open and there's some zombies and some action and some really cool makeup, and then nothing happens the entire episode, and then like shocking quick cliffhanger to pull you back. It's like this is the middle, like, why am I even watching this show? And then shocking twist and pulls you back.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have to see what happens.
It's true. There's nothing more.
Just reminds me of that. I don't feel that it goes to like, why am I even watching this show?
You're watching it because you're a loyal DC fan.
Yeah, and I think I've enjoyed it.
I've enjoyed it. I mean,
there's
been a few things that you said that I'm just kind of like, but whatever. Speaking of a few things that make you go, oh, we're talking about TV. We got the trailer for Pennyworth season 3, like the full on trailer, and and it looks good.
The origin of Batman's butler.
I feel like sometimes I'm the only person that ever watches this show. I'm like, yeah, Pennyworth. They're like, oh yeah, there is a show. I'm like, yeah, there's a show about Batman's butler. I remember when the show was announced, and I was driving, I was listening to a podcast talk about it, and I was just like, huh? Batman's butler? What? But anyways, yeah, so it looks good. I mean, it looks like it picks up where it left off, but at the same time, like for the majority of the trailer, it definitely feels like there's a time jump in something. And it would be awesome if they tied this to Crisis, and this is like a post-Crisis season, and they just kind of drop some of the plot threads from season 2. Just throwing that out there. But it definitely looks like it's now more in the 60s, like it more of like the classic 60s, even though like no time periods ever really said. It's kind of exists, and that's like the way Gotham. Like I still like as of right now, it's still my headcanon is the prequel to Gotham. Okay. To where you're not really sure what the time frame is. You just kind of go with it.
Well, that's always kind of been like the one of the best selling points of Batman is you can create an amalgamous time period for it where things can be old, things can be new, there can be cutting edge technology, and then, you know, like the streets of Gotham, what they look like.
Yeah.
You know, like it can be, it's all of that together. So I mean, I think, but the trailer does have a very, I guess, yes, 50s, 60s,
Dude,
espionage vibe.
The music that's in the trailer was one step away from sounding like Austin Powers.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was like I was already swinging my hips, like, yeah, baby. I'm not even gonna do it. I'm not even doing a Mike Myers impression. I feel like at this point in time, it's just wrong to do it. So yeah, I just was like, I don't want to say I'm excited, but I'm cool with it. You know, it's not been the worst show. It's not been the best show. It's been there, but it's worth checking out. And I'm hopefully, you know, it's on HBO Max with the DC stuff that maybe they did a little bit of a soft reboot tweak to it, and it'll come back stronger than ever. All right, so we got Pennyworth. James, he doesn't have anything to say. He's just like, shut up, Tyler, and keep moving. I want to talk about other stuff. And I'm like, all right, man.
I mean, I don't have a whole lot of extra to say about it.
Yeah, I hear you.
I want to catch up and check it out here, so I bumped it up in my list here so I can.
Oh, we're doing a hardcore
say,
rewatch,
hey,
man. You better be ready. We're going to review this and talk about it and dissect every little thing. Our podcast will now become the Pennyworth Podcast for a little while. Tyler Patrick's Pennyworth Podcast on perpetual motion people. I don't know. I'll see how many P's I can throw in there.
Yeah. No, we just finished. We just finished WandaVision. It's a rewatch for me.
It's a little late for that one, buddy.
That's a rewatch for me. She didn't see it. All she saw was the finale.
Dang.
And then just finished Loki today.
James playing on the other side of the fence.
Yes, just finished Loki today, and you know, we watched She-Hulk with the girls. Just watched the new episode of Rings of Power today, this evening.
Going to be doing that probably later on. I'm doing that with Juju. So, yeah.
Oh, the production quality of that show is outstanding.
This isn't the Rings of Power show, James. Okay. Nah, that's cool.
I'm sorry. I've been branching out lately.
What? How dare you?
I'm going to have to fit Pennyworth into our rotation of TV shows. We're going to kind of like make our own.
Don't tell her about
weekly
it. Weekly schedule.
Weekly schedule.
I was like, just don't tell her about it, and just be that's the show that you watch when she's not around, or like you're at work or whatever. You're just
that was Ash vs. the Evil Dead recently.
I thought about rewatching that, as I totally forgot that they had another Evil Dead movie coming. That was an HBO Max thing.
That is now going to theaters in April. Next year?
I think that's what it is.
Yes. Yes, that is what it is.
So,
I'm excited. I'm looking forward to that. I'm a very big horror buff, so
I'm just kind of like, cool. I totally forgot that was even a thing. And speaking of theaters, we got some new posters. And what did we get posters for?
Black Adam. That movie that's coming out in just over a month.
And let's pull these posters up here. First of all, we got individual character posters. I thought I had them all saved. I guess my phone sucks. But we got one of Hawkman, which was really cool to see.
I got him.
Adam Smasher
right here in our chat.
Yeah, Adam Smasher is interesting because he doesn't have his mask on, and Cyclones is cool. Hawkman's is cool because it's a side profile and his head's down. It just looks awesome. You can't really tell who the actor is, but you just see the helmet. The Dr. Fate is cool because it's Pierce Brosnan holding the Dr. Fate helmet. And then Black Adam's
helmet
cool.
Looks good.
The helmet's neat how like it's not symmetrical and like there's only one eye and the other side's smooth. And then the Black Adam one is just like the Rock in the corner.
Dwayne Johnson doing what he does. That
Sweet.
smoldering look straight at the camera.
Give him the smolder.
The smolder, yeah.
I think she broke my smolder. I ran a...
That's where I got the smolder look from. So
hey, that's Zach Levi there. That's Shazam. What do you call it? I ran a poll, okay, about The Rock, and I'll give you the results. I said, should The Rock's Black Adam have hair? 27% said yes, 73% said no. And I'm like, okay. I mean, I kind of feel like he should have had hair. I mean, Dwayne Johnson, like, go back and look at some of the stuff when he had hair. It was already kind of in the Black Adam shape. Just to distinguish it from looking just like Dwayne Johnson. Because there's a little bit of a different look to him when he had hair. So if he had hair for Black Adam, this would have been a little bit more, just a little bit of something different, where it would have been like, oh, that's Black Adam, not that's Dwayne Johnson.
yeah, I mean, it's just Dwayne Johnson. He doesn't have hair anymore.
Yeah.
His hair kind of is like the only movies he had hair in really was his family role movies.
I watched the clip.
It kind of distinguishes those roles apart from everything he's done since.
I watched today the clip from the movie Faster. Well, not Faster. I think that's where I was thinking of where he
Faster. The one with
the one I was thinking of is from his little appearance in The Other Guys, where him and Sam Jackson are like, just aim for the bushes. And they take off running.
You're thinking what I'm thinking.
And like he had hair in that, and that's when I was really like, man, like he would have looked fine with hair. I don't know what people.
Does he have that hair anymore, though? Is the question.
That is the question.
Is it all gone?
He's like, guys, shut up. I don't do hair anymore. All right. Sorry. We're not worthy. And then we got those posters like the day we recorded our last episode, which I apologize for our last episode because I felt like I was dead. Maybe, I don't know. I was really drained, and
I think it was a very low energy day for both of us, unfortunately.
And then we got the Black Adam trailer. And you know what? You know what I like about this trailer?
What's that?
I'll say this first. I like this trailer because they gave us some more, but they didn't give us more as... Like, they'd show us, like, the same scene, then maybe, like, 2 or 3 seconds more of that scene. So we saw a lot of the same footage, but, like, more of the same footage, if that makes sense. And we saw some
extra frames of the same scenes.
We saw more footage, period. But I still feel like there's a lot of movie I have no idea what's going to happen. And that kind of excites me. I'm really tired of knowing too much. So but what are your initial thoughts of the trailer?
So when you talk about like, first of all, when you talk about like knowing too much, like that's kind of where the freeze framing and digging into and trying to speculate every bit of the story of the movie. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But taking the trailers at a nice face value to get you kind of hyped for it, see a bit of what it has to offer, and then, go in seeing it that way. I think that's, like if you're going to watch trailers, that's kind of the route you want to take. Yeah. But this trailer I thought was really cool. I do like that they took away some of the yellow
Yes.
tinge to the footage.
Me and Solomon had a really good discussion on that.
There is one main shot that's like very visible to the change, which is where he's like holding his son, or appears that's the scene maybe that he's holding his son. And in the old trailer it was very yellow, and in this one the contrast was much better of the people on screen and the from the surroundings. So that shot in particular, but there was some really cool shots in there. Some extra bits of action, like Atom Smasher falling to the ground. We got to see Sabak, and only 2 glimpses of him. So
that's all I cared about.
Yes, only 2 glimpses of him. So that's fantastic to see.
We see his.
I wonder how he's going to play into it.
We see his back rising from the water, and then we see his front profile about to fight Hawkman. Yeah,
as Hawkman's nth metal mace changes into an axe, a battle axe. The effects of Hawkman's costumes, his wings, his mask, and his weapon is awesome. I really like the detail in it.
Sabak just like, I got a picture I'm looking at where it's like him from the comics. And there's been like 2 or 3 different Sabaks in the comics. He looks good, but he looks so tame. Like he doesn't look like the crazy demonic brute that he could. Like you just feel like for a movie they always go over the top, but they kind of kept him very tame.
Well, let's see what happens when he powers up.
He turns into James on a bad night.
Yeah, when I go Super Saiyan.
Now, I will say that one thing in the trailer, we see. Where's the shot? Like we see Black Adam hugging his family, and I'm really hoping there's not a subplot with the female character who's basically Isis, is like some sort of reincarnated his wife or something. Since we are dealing with Egyptians styled like mythology and culture, I'm hoping that we don't get some sort of subplot like that.
An interesting bit of the plot there is what appears to be Amanda Waller talking to Aldous Hodge, talking to Hawkman.
Yes.
About
Waller,
capturing Black Adam.
And she asked him who's on the team, and it looks like Hawkman is the leader. But I did read a thing with Aldous Hodge talking about that there's a long history between Dr. Fate and Hawkman. So that's interesting.
Well, if they go back anyways, Naboo was in various places, but he was there back in those days.
It makes me wonder.
Dr. Fate is kind of
what the history of Hawkman will be and the history of the Justice Society, because it seems like Atom Smasher and Cyclone are like the new recruits, the young teammates that are there. Like maybe the Justice Society went underground for a while and are just now coming back or something. We'll see. But the Amanda Waller tie-in is interesting. And for anyone listening, I'm just going to throw this back out there again. I've done this before. Just think of everything after Justice League as post-crisis, and those movies all tie in. So starting with Aquaman forward, all those films are post-crisis. And it makes the continuity work a lot better. You think, Wonder Woman, Man of Steel, BVS, Suicide Squad, Zack Snyder's Justice League, Crisis, Justice League, Aquaman, and from there just keep going. It makes the continuity work. I live by that. It works.
It bugs Tyler quite a bit more than me in that respect.
And that just proves that me and James don't always think the same.
Not always. But sometimes if it's just hard to think about the continuity because nobody's ever had a chance to really do continuity and expand on it moving forward,
Mm-hmm. Now, sorry, I was trying to get something to pull up here. I have this photo that they released where it's Pierce Brosnan and Dr. Fate holding Atom Smasher. It looks like it could be just a boy. I can't really tell because it's just a jacket with dark hair. But he's in the Dr. Fate costume without the helmet on. And he has Isis next to him. So I thought that was pretty cool because he doesn't have the helmet on. But he has the suit.
No, I don't recall that one. I mean,
I thought I threw it in our chat. Dang it, James. Let me see. Boom. Sending it to you now. Ba-ding.
ding.
Loving the tech.
Oh, I see. That is interesting, him being in the suit without the helmet on.
I know, right?
I mean, that's usually never how that goes.
Now we can't, talk about this without mentioning how the trailer does start with what appears to be Black Adam, like pulling a Captain America, floating in water. That's very reminiscent of the Man of Steel shot.
Yeah, like where Fiora's fighting.
No, I was saying not that one, but when he's in the water and like.
Oh yeah, the floating in the water, the shot from underneath.
Yeah. And then first of all, let's just acknowledge that they're not doing the Jeff Johns origin. So they've already kind of tried to give him a better origin story than previous.
Well, yeah, I mean the Jeff Johns New 52 origin story was pretty bleak.
I talked about that with Shazam Cast, where we talked about the fact that he was sharing the lightning with his nephew, and basically as his nephew says Shazam, he kills his nephew so that he takes all the power.
Yeah.
And so I'm watching this trailer and I'm thinking to myself, I wonder if they'll kind of Scorpion King this thing, where how in The Mummy Returns they talk about how the Scorpion King was bad.
Yeah.
Like he came to be bad and everything and what happened. But then we get the Scorpion King movie and he's all good. And then we never got a really good sequel. We just got prequels and sidequels and something else, that nobody ever watched.
Straight to DVD movies that didn't star The Rock or Kelly Hu or anybody else who was involved.
Exactly. So nobody watched them. I'm wondering, based on in Black Adam, I need the Wizard to show up. And I need some sort of allusion to him releasing the sins. I don't have to see it, but it can be depending on how they do these flashbacks with his origin story. I need to keep that continuity and know that we do need to see that he's not always good.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if
they're really trying to put that through in the marketing.
There's heroes, there's villains, and then there's Black Adam.
Yeah. They're really trying to put that through in the marketing. I mean, the voiceover, the Destructor, the Savior, even Dwayne Johnson playing Black Adam's dog in the post-credit scene of League of Pets. anti-hero speech, like.
Yes, if he's anti-hero, isn't he a villain? No. So
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if when we see Black Adam first get his powers, he'll have like the shiny costume, like we've seen, like with the gold boots and the gold gauntlet looking things. Because if you look in the scene where he's holding his son, he's wearing those boots. So I wonder if, like, when he first gets his powers, he'll have more of like the shiny symbol that we've seen The Rock wear and the big gold boots and all that. And then when he wakes up and everything, it's going to be the dark and dingy the whole time. I do like
Yeah, and it'll be interesting. I mean, they have him locked away or whatever for 5,000 years, they mention in the trailer. So that'll be interesting to see what happened there. Like, did the wizard lock him away?
Yeah, of course.
For 5,000 years?
Because when you know
what I mean?
When they go up to when they free him, it sounds like one of them reads the inscription and says Shazam. In not this trailer, I think the before trailer, or in the scene before. I don't know. I've watched all the footage. I have it all collected because I'm like that. I do really like the effect on his eyes when he uses the electricity and his eyes go white. They didn't do that like with Shazam, so that's something cool. They're very glowing, like white eyes.
Mm-hmm.
I like that Hawkman has his helmet that basically is now the standard superhero helmet of being like nanobot looking things. Because his helmet just appears on him.
Yeah. Well, that's what I think they're doing with like the nth metal.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of the ability to adapt it.
We got some more cool scenes of just him floating and him. We see Hawkman pull out his mace and fly up, and we get a little bit more of Black Adam catching the mace and then shooting him with lightning.
Yeah, the part where he kills all the soldiers in the cave is pretty cool. See some extra stuff from that, as well as what looks like similar to the Feora scene from Man of Steel, where she runs through people with single punches really fast.
Mm-hmm. Well, it looks like we have Dr. Fate getting a vision, talking about things. His fate's never wrong. Then we introduce, like we said, we see Sabak. So we have our full-on villain of the story. And we got a cool...
Yeah, I want to see
of
that. I've never read about that character, so it'll be interesting to see what they do in the movie. And then, maybe I'll be able to get something in before I see it, but we'll see.
I would just watch the video on YouTube. I'll send it to you.
Because did you?
I watched because I had seen, I had read in the comic where Sabak showed up in the Shazam and Superman story that I read not too long ago and reviewed on the podcast. Back when Black Adam was supposed to come out, a lot sooner.
Yeah.
And Sabak showed up in that. So that was cool. But there's been like 2 different versions of Sabak. Or 3. You know how these supervillain things go. But yeah, that's the trailer. And it looks better. I'm more excited. And I hope other people are. And I said this. I think Black Adam's going to end up being like DC's Venom. In the sense, watch the critics hate it, but fans love it, and it does really well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to it doing well, hopefully. From a little bit of the trailers we've seen, we know we're going to see some stuff like him hit somebody and them go flying out into the sea. This guy's got the ability to like turn you into a pink mist, like with the flick of his finger.
I mean, yeah. Wouldn't that
So,
what you would do?
Yeah. So to see some things like that, we know we're going to get a little bit of laughing stuff here or there, some comedy. Just hopefully it's, natural. It's built in the way it should, and we get a great story. We get good characters. We seem to be getting some pretty awesome effects, Cyclone's effects, Dr. Fate, Atom Smasher looks great. Really big, that character. It's been pretty quick snippets, so yeah, just definitely looking forward to going to see this next month.
Oh, it is next month, isn't it?
I mean, I'm getting excited, closer we get, I'm getting excited.
I'm really disappointed, though, that at the end of the trailer, it didn't say, like, tickets now on sale. Like they've done for some of these, like, right when their trailer drop, it'll announce the tickets being on sale. Because, we're a little over a month away. I want to know when the tickets are going on sale.
Yeah. About 6 weeks out, they should be going on sale here pretty soon.
Exactly. So that's pretty much all the news I have. Now, before we transition to our next phase, I want to throw a question out to you. Okay? Since last week's question got interrupted, thanks a lot, news. But my question is, would you want Melissa Benoist to show up and return as Kara in Superman and Lois? James.
I would be okay with that. I would like to see her, because see, it's tough, you know what I mean? Because is she gonna come in? How's she gonna come in? And she's not gonna stick around, So I would like her to see her get to do something really cool again. Since season 6 kind of fizzled, and basically turning it into the Super Friends show instead of Supergirl.
Well, since we know that it's on an alternate Earth,
but I mean for Melissa herself, you know what I mean?
Melissa could,
like Brandon getting the chance to be,
she could come in and
Superman again from Kingdom Come and in Crisis. Was a great time to see him again.
I think you could play it two ways. Number one, she comes in an episode or something, an arc where it's Superman and Lois interacting with the multiverse, and she's the Kara of the same Kara that we've already been dealing with. Just, that's who is on that Earth. Or she gets to come in and kind of reset the character, and they do something new and kind of fresh. But it's still her, and they kind of get to do, like, take her back to how she was more in, like, the second season. So that's kind of my thought, but that I would like to see her back. I think that'd be pretty cool. Because I, like you said, like Brandon, how he went out in Superman Returns, you were just kind of like, oh, man. But then he got to come back and kind of step up his game and kind of do the, the older Superman and kind of give himself a little bit more of a better send-off for the character. So I kind of feel like that's what Melissa deserves. And
absolutely.
But all right. So now we're going to jump into the next part of the show where James juggles. He's going to juggle some
because it's totally going to work on an audio medium.
That's what makes it more fun, dude.
And the fact that I can't juggle.
One of the funniest scenes I was watching.
I like to pretend, though.
I was watching the Lonely Island movie Pop Star, Never Stopping, or whatever it is. Never Stop, Never Stopping, or whatever. And one of the funniest scenes is when he says, dude, get that camera off me. And the camera turns, and you just hear the audio, and they're like, oh my God, is that a falcon? And then they just do this whole scene that you can't see anything of them being like attacked by a bird. So yeah, using that logic, James juggling chainsaws could be pretty awesome. But we won't do that.
Add in chainsaw sound effects now. I have a chainsaw.
Jania, run out to the shed and get my chainsaw. So you watch some more Superboy. We've been still going through Superboy season 2. Watching some Gerard Christopher.
I watched 2 episodes.
So was it season 2 episodes 11 and 12? Because that's what I have left in my notes.
I believe so. It was the Power of Evil, and then Superboy R.I.P.
So The Power of Evil aired December 16th, 1989. 7.0 on IMDb. As a dark, malevolent force breaks its bonds and seeks to eradicate Superboy, the greatest force of good. All right, James, thoughts, and then I'll give you mine.
Thoughts? Well, that Seth dude has some major 80s hair.
Yeah.
They've got some like first person camera views, Sam Raimi-esque, Evil Dead-esque, running through, going like down the streets and all that stuff. And then some cheesy Gerard Christopher, right? Gerard Christopher, yes. Getting his ass beat by an invisible force.
And like this,
that was corny.
And like it's Lana's new boyfriend kind of thing. But
yeah,
is it exactly Lana's new boyfriend? So you're just kind of like, all right, come on, Lana, come on. Why are you finding these weirdos, guys?
Like, she wasn't dating anybody.
Last episode,
she is dating somebody.
Yeah, last episode you weren't dating anybody
for a little while.
Now you are. What the heck?
And then he's dead.
And then Superboy had to take him out with the help of the Sensei. And then Andy's blonde hair here always cracks me up. Because like he loses it here soon, if I remember right. But yeah, that was that one.
I wonder if he wasn't going for a new look for a while.
I guess, geez, I don't know.
Well, the only 2 things I've ever seen him in now is Weird Science and this.
Yeah, and then he like retired from acting. All right. So, Superboy, rest in peace, December 30th, 1989. It has a 7.0 on IMDb. And I hate kind of a female from the future assists Superboy against another evil force, an android sent to destroy him. Dun-dun-dun-dun. And we have...
Well, she's an android.
God, man, you killed it right there. That was the whole point. I was trying to take it out. Because I didn't know, like when I watched the episode, you don't know it till the end. But then the summary gives it away. And I was like,
the way she appears to be looking at the very beginning, I kind of thought she was the android that the description gave away.
You know who the actress is?
No.
It's Betsy Russell. And the only reason I know who Betsy Russell is because she was Jigsaw's wife, Jill, in all the Saw movies.
No way.
Yes.
What was I say? She was blonde and she had straight hair in that.
Yep.
Like she's got dark and curly hair in this.
So, I enjoyed this episode. Honestly, it was kind of cool because Superboy kind of has started to have a thing for her, but then she has to like pull a Terminator and like self destruct. This is before Terminator 2. And and then she just like, and you find out, you're like, oh my god, what's she gonna do? And then you find out, yeah, she was an android.
Yeah. Well, they had a little bit of decent 1980s TV action going on in this one. Nothing too outlandish and campy, kind of like the last one, like unlike the last episode where the evil was invisible.
I can't see it. Yeah, no joke, man. Nobody can. Oh, yeah, that's right.
I mean, he is no Bruce Campbell when it comes to kicking his own ass. Like
Pizza Papa, man. Pizza Papa knows what's up.
Pizza Papa. It's over. It's finally over.
That's why his career to Sam Raimi. It's over. It's finally over.
Excuse me.
No,
and then Evil Dead Rise.
Ash versus Evil Dead. He's like, oh man, come on. But so that was our, weekly Superboy. We're making it, before Tubi takes it down.
No, that ending though, where he slowed down his heart to make the android believe he had completed his mission, and then it self-destructs. It's like that's
slick.
Like that's an easy way to go around it, I guess.
Saves on the budget. Just slow down your heart.
And then Serene does it herself.
Yeah, like I said, it was sad because you're like, oh man, Superboy, he's heartbroken.
Yeah, he was liking her because he was like, no.
He finally found someone he could talk to, and she self-destructs.
Ain't it just the way?
It is. It is. All right. So now we get into everyone's favorite section of the show. What's James wearing? A Superman shirt. Next.
It is. It's my super dad shirt I got from Tyler.
Yes. Okay. So funny story. Solomon. So they're doing Spirit Week this week for school, and Wednesday is dress as your favorite teacher. And he's like, well, I'll just dress as dad. I'll just wear a Superman shirt. And I'm like, that is 90% accurate of what I wear most of the time. So it was pretty funny. I was like, thanks, buddy.
Does he have a button up to go over it?
Yeah. And I'm going to put him in a Superman tie and be like, and off to school he's going. Because my kid is awesome. So now it's comics. And we have two. And I am looking forward to discussing these with you. And I think we'll start off with Dark Knights of Steel, Tales of the Three Kingdom. Because for some reason, all of a sudden, they stopped publishing Dark Knights of Steel.
Yeah, I've seen that. It's been a while since the last issue came out.
Like, it's kind of bummed me out. But, all right. So this is like several short stories. And I'll let you start. You can do the first one, and then we'll just kind of go back and forth. So.
Okay, no problem. So the first one, I thought it was really cool, we got, excuse me, the El Kingdom, the harbor town of Gotham, the Arkham Orphanage, and we've got Jimmy and Harvey and Oswald all together, and then Jimmy is adopted by Mr. and Mrs. White, Perry White to be precise.
Mm-hmm.
And then they adopt him. He likes looking at the stars, so they get him a telescope. And he's outside looking around with his telescope, and then he sees Prince Kal-El flying around. Catches a glimpse of his cape, gets to see him. So right away we've got, Jimmy and Kal-El being pals. So that's really cool to have that written in there. Kal looks through the telescope with his supervision, and he can see like everything out in space, so far away. Let's see. He says his planet. He asks him. He says maybe you can see your planet. He says it's gone. And then Perry is pleading to the king and queen that children are missing. Children from the orphanage are missing. James is missing. They talk about a large winged beast that takes him. He says, though the fearful are prone to exaggeration. And this one's really cool here. He says, I realize I've published some questions about the L's that and then Queen Lara says that are of no concern. Your role is to question power. Our role is to use the power we have wisely and with compassion. Scrutiny does not change that.
Which is awesome.
Yes. So we have 3 short stories here. Let me pause for a second. We have 3 short stories here, and so, I know others are written. I don't know how many, but I know others are written by other authors,
Mm-hmm.
and this story is written by Tom Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so Cal overhears. He looks through the wall. He listens to the conversation, and he flies off. And Bruce is looking out the window. Says, "And where are you off to, Cal?" Cal flies to the orphanage and sees large talon marks on the roof.
Arkham Orphanage.
Arkham Orphanage. Goes to the orphanage. Yep. Sees talon marks on the roof. Bruce is there in his knight's outfit, and then so is Cal's younger sister Zala. She shows up. She follows. He says, "You brought Zala?" "I absolutely didn't. She must have followed me."
That's what little sisters do, man. Just ask them.
Yeah. Say, "I want to see a dragon." And they said, "Ask the kids. They're watching through the window." So they're talking to Oswald, who has some flippered fingers. You know, the 3 fingers like Danny DeVito.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're talking about Harvey in the corner. Said he can't decide anything at the moment. He's a bit stuck. Harvey's talking to himself, upstairs or downstairs, right or left, sleeping or waking, breathing or dying. And Bruce tosses him a coin. Toss a coin to your witcher. Harvey, you can you take this? And Oswald says, "Oh, a golden Thomas. I've never seen one of those in the flesh. But bribing him won't help. It's not a bribe. It's an aid. You don't need to decide. You don't need to decide anything, Harvey. Let the coin choose for you." So, which is kind of cool here, you know, because he kind of, in a way, saves Harvey, mm-hmm. which is something that Batman did in Arkham Asylum, the book by Grant Morrison. He saved Harvey by giving him back his coin.
Mm-hmm.
But Harvey describes people being taken, a winged monster. They saw which way it flew. And they head out into the mountains to find it. They find Jimmy's telescope and a cave. They enter, they can hear the children. And they find Man-Bat. Man-Bat is here.
Huge Man-Bat.
Huge Man-Bat, yeah. And they start attacking him. There's a pretty cool fight that happens. Some stalactites
like
falling from the
Poison Ivy. I'm going to say maybe Mad Hatter and Killer Croc.
Yes, Waylon is definitely there. We see Zala save the day, save some kids with her heat vision. Then the kids jump in the way. He's not a monster. Say he's Kirk Langstrom. He's 12 years old. He wasn't trying to hurt us. He was trying to save us from what? The orphanage. They were all being experimented on by Elizabeth Arkham. And Commander Waller, she comes in, shoots her with an arrow in the back of the shoulder. You don't get to run from what you've done to these children. She takes her. Cal says, "So we're not in trouble?" He says, "Oh, you definitely are. But these children will be cared for, and a greater evil has been removed." And then we have Waller and Elizabeth Arkham in The carriage says, is it to be the dungeons or execution, Waller? Either would be a shocking waste. Is there another option? She says, there is. You keep doing what you've been doing, but you do so in the service to the kingdom. And would the king and queen know about this service? There is no reason for them to. You work for me now, Arkham. The end, ?
Sounds like Waller.
So,
in this world.
Of course, Amanda Waller. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
She's going to utilize whatever power she has and manipulate things.
So the next one is called The Flock. And it's 5 years past. Written by Jay Kristoff. And basically, it's Halloween evening, or All Hallows Eve. And Clark is going out. He's wearing, we see Clark, or Cal, sorry, it's Cal, my bad. Cal is going out, and Harley is there, and he's wearing glasses as part of his disguise. And Bruce shows up, and he puts on a very, like, Zorro-esque bat mask, and they're out walking among people. And if you look, they're in the
chance
crowd.
To see another side of the kingdom,
And
as it's put.
Yes. And if you look out in the crowd, there's like Quilt Man or Crazy Quilt, Bane, looks like Deathstroke, people dressed up as, and then there's a wanted poster for the Robins on the ground, which I didn't catch the first time I read this. My page just tore. Son of a biscuit. But
Are you ripping your book?
it's like ripping the Bible, man. So anyways,
I have an issue of something that the middle page came out. I was like,
yeah, it just like popped out of the staple.
mm-hmm.
Well, might as well throw this in the trash and go buy another one. And then Harley's wearing a very like expensive necklace, and we see that while she's playing with this puppy dog, the necklace gets grifted, and then they're caught, and they're being chased, and you see the boy go Robin's fly, and Batman's chasing a Robin, and as he's chasing it, he's talking to himself like about what's going on, and he says impressive. And then as Robin, he's getting away, he startles a horse in a cart, and there's a little kid in the way, and he turns back and he flies in and saves the child. And, tells the kid, no fear, I got you. But then Batman shows up, and then Cal shows up with all the other Robins. And
Yeah, maybe, but you didn't get all of us. No, they got all of us, Richard.
so we have Jason, Richard, Tim, Steph. Did they name all of them?
So, yeah, there's Richard, Steph, Jason. That's all on Cal's left side. And then you got Duke, Tim, probably Damien.
Probably. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them total. So, Duke, Tim, Jason, Steph. Yeah.
I mean, the little one is the only one, I think, and I mean that's probably Damien,
I guess so. And then, why do you call yourselves Robins? Because we're building a nest with the coin we steal. Not every orphan in the city gets to sleep in a palace, Your Majesty. And then Cal says, "Show them a light, Bruce." And he says, "You saved that boy rather than your own skin. So you want a job?" And Harley's like, "I'm keeping the pup." And then she's like, "Hug to Bruce." He's like, "No."
I captured the ringleader. I'm keeping her.
And then I figured you would like the last one.
The Bane story. Bane of the King. It's the King's Bane.
It's like the Mountain. If you're a Game of Thrones fan, like this is like the Mountain or the Hound or the other Mountain.
Yeah.
Or the other Mountain, since they recast like 3 times, but whatever.
Right. Well, like, you see this part here, and you're like, it'd have been so cool to see more of this version of Bane.
Dude, they still could though. Like the way these stories are written, like I wouldn't mind more of these books, these tie-in books of like short stories like this of this world. I'm game for that.
Yeah. Well, that's what's been really awesome about what Tom Taylor's been able to do with a lot of his time at DC. You know, he did Injustice, which was so much of the DC universe in that world, telling a story of the entirety of so many characters. And then same thing with Deceased, all of the DC universe that is affected in that. And then same thing here with Dark Knights of Steel. You know what I mean? He gets to play in the sandbox with the entire DC instead of focusing on one book or one character.
Mm-hmm. So you go ahead and tell us the stories.
So the King's Bane, he shows up and he kills all of Prince Bruce's bodyguards. Says that he believes that Bruce is the willing or the heir to the throne, and he should sit on the throne. Says that he can show him how to kill a monster. And then back at a tavern, we got Bane sitting at the table, and looks like Cheshire, maybe Shiva. And then somebody, he calls him the Fiddler. Looks kind of like the Riddler.
Yeah.
Not quite sure who the jester is with the white face, though.
I was thinking, is it Anarchy or is it Ragdoll or the Top?
I was gonna say there's a few different like blank face masks almost that it could be.
So.
And he said you said Bruce shows up to the tavern. You said you knew a way to kill the elves. So Bane trains him. He starts training him, trains him physically, trains him how to fight.
Can we just talk about how massive his sword is?
Yeah, it's huge.
It's not even a sword. I don't know what you'd call it.
I mean, it's like an anime sword, you know what I mean? Like what you would be carrying in a Final Fantasy game.
There you go.
Like, that's how big it is. But, you know, for Bane, it's like the right size.
Yeah.
But it's still even massive for his stature.
Forget the pasta.
He asks him, "Why do you wear the mask?" "I didn't, not always. I used to be a palace guard. The day I got to guard the Waynes was the proudest day of my life. But then the Green Man attacked." Says, "You were there that day. I couldn't protect the king and queen, but I will see the Wayne heir sit on the throne." So the mask, his back was broken, and Dr. Crane fashioned him a mask, and it pumps cursed magic, or at least he calls it the cursed magic, pumps through is all that keeps him standing, because otherwise he'd be paralyzed without it. He teaches him everything. He says, time to kill the elves. So Bruce walks him into the palace even with Zala there. He walks into the dining room where the king and queen and Cal are eating, and Bane goes to attack, and Bruce slices his tubes from his mask. You know, Bane's weakness, which is just so easily exploited anymore. It's kind of ridiculous. The tube shouldn't exist anymore.
I have an interesting way to do it. I'll tell you off mic.
Okay. Yeah, I just think it's a cheap...
surgically inserted under his skin, so you don't actually know about him. But
right.
It's a creepy visual.
No, that's actually pretty dope. I actually visualized a little more, like green light coming through his skin. You know, like it'd be interesting. Anyways, he paralyzes him. Strike first from the shadows. He says, I've captured the King's Bane. He called himself a Wayne loyalist. He wanted to kill you and put me on the throne. He says, I will not lose more people I love to magic. I will not let magic hurt anyone again. I pledge my loyalty to the throne. I will protect the elves from magic from this day forward.
I'm loyal to the Waynes. I trained you. I taught you everything.
Oh, you can only hear the Harley Quinn voice anymore.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah. Like, it's a parody on what Tom Hardy did, but it's like
It's
the
perfect.
only voice you hear for him anymore. Anyways, this is where it begins, where we get this is where it begins, where Bruce pledges his oath to lock up all the magic people, where we kind of find him at the beginning of Dark Knights of Steel.
Mm-hmm.
And then they throw Bane into the pit. Which is interesting because, in all honesty, I mean, Bane came from the pit to come back to try and break the bat. So
I mean, that story's still there, though, if you think about it.
Yeah, exactly.
He can come and rise, and now he's against the Wayne.
Right, and now he has even more reason to go after Bruce for revenge. So,
all right. And then the last comic we have for this week is Flashpoint Beyond 5. Now, 5 of 6. I'm going to say this. 1, I guess everything worked out after Dark Crisis, because we're in the middle of Dark Crisis. I just read the newest issue, and I know as soon as I'm done, I'll have to reread them all. I just don't feel like it's doing what they wanted it to do, and it's not as big as Nobody Cares. But anyways, because this book opens...
Well, just last year they had friggin' Dark Knight's Metal. Dark Metal, whatever it was.
Yeah, Dark Knight's Death Metal. Too many words.
Death Metal, yeah.
Because when I open this, and it says 2 days after Dark Crisis, I was like, oh. And I love this opening page, or pages, should I say. And that's why I kind of told you, like, oh my god, this is deep. Because it's really Mr. Terrific explaining everything that's happened. Explaining what the Omniverse is, what exactly that means. What does time shifts mean? What does this crisis mean? And everything. And I'm not even going to try to read it and go through it. But they have this little, like, things like the Divine Continuum Space Omniverse. And it says... multiverse, metaverse, the sphere of the gods, dark multiverse, and it says time, hypertime, limbo, the vanishing point, and I'm just like, wow, this is like heavy writing to start this book off with.
Oh yeah, there's a lot.
And then it kicks over to where the story begins, where Batman's talking to Ra's al Ghul. And we see he's got a thing that says the Time Masters. And there's a picture of Marionette and Mime. And then we see, now that was Batman as in Bruce Wayne. Okay, sorry. I need to clarify, because now we see Thomas Wayne rushing to Arkham, and he's going because he's like, it's Martha, Oswald. I need to get there. And Oswald's trying to tell him about what the boy is doing. Dexter is an innocent kid. He's just a child. And Bruce, or Thomas, like, it doesn't matter. He says, where is it? You've been a good friend to me, Oswald. Thank you. Batman out. And we get in there, and Dexter's holding his mom. And there's Martha the Joker standing in front of him. And he's trying to
Well, he says wait. Yeah, it's the page before that where he talks about Harvey sealed some files on Gilda, that there are two faces to Gilda, her dark side, and he covered up her crimes against her own children.
Yeah, that
Dexter... says Dexter's sister didn't kill herself.
And we see the two facing Gilda.
Yeah, so Dexter's in danger from his own mother.
And then I think this was a very interesting shot, is we have Thomas busting through the roof, and in all the glass that are shattered are different Batman, like Bruce with like a dead Robin. There's the Jason Todd stuff. There's the Damian. Really interesting why they chose what they chose. But then you have Batman, shooting at Martha. And he's like, why did you kill them? And she's like, you'll find out. Poor Dexter's now in an elevator with his mom. And he's like, Mom, stop, that hurts. She's like, we're going to be together forever. And I turned the page. It's Harley Quinn's 30th anniversary. Yay, Harley. She talked about hearing Psycho Pirate. And he's like, this is just about us. You died. She said, when are you talking about? When we last saw each other 30 years ago in Crime Alley? I've been wondering myself, ever since the man with the golden mask was talking about Bruce. I heard him while I was within these walls. I made him tell me everything before I killed him. How this world changed from what it should be. How Bruce became Batman, not you. And the Joker? Haha, can you imagine? The Joker was a man. His name was Jack Oswald White. And then we have for the time travelers to be. Mr. White was the first one I went to see. How could I not, out of simple curiosity? In this world, Mr. White was a failed comedian with a wife and child, stuck in a mental job cleaning the bathrooms at Wayne Casino, but they were a happy family. Happier than we ever were, Thomas. I let them live.
Says I even made sure Mr. White wasn't there when I destroyed your casino.
I find it interesting, like, Jack Oswald White. Why? Like, why that name? Like, why reuse Oswald? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no significant, like...
Yeah, I'm not sure about that, but,
like,
the Jack White is kind of one thing, and they use... This is a Jeff Johns thing here, using the same, Joker that he made the... like whatever quote unquote real Joker in Three Jokers, him being the one that Bruce is hiding the child and the wife.
Yep. So, but
and have since the beginning.
I'm okay if you're going to be like Jack and White. I guess it ties maybe into like the White Knight and everything. But the Oswald part just is weird.
Yeah. Not sure about that, but the Jack White I was fine with.
So they continue to battle, and she takes him basically into her room where we see a thing that says time travelers, and she has pictures on her wall of people who've traveled through time. And then she made a time spear bubble, and she activates it. And it said, this world shouldn't be, it said, talking about Psycho Pirate. And then she turns it on, and we're cutting back and forth between where Bruce is. And he's, still with Daniel Boone when Rip Hunter shows up at the end. And I don't know, it's supposed to be a big deal, but these time travelers and their costumes just don't look like a big deal. And Rip Hunter doesn't, I have no care for Rip Hunter, so I'm not like, ooh, I'm shaking in my boots. I'm just like, oh, that's Rip Hunter. But this book alone is worth buying just for the intro of them explaining what's going on by Mr. Terrific, I mean.
And Dr. Baxter.
So that right
yeah,
there
the multiverse, the omniverse, hyper time. Yeah. It's very interesting. It's very I have to read it again, you know.
Yep. So, but yeah, it was a good read. Both books this week were awesome. I think next week is Son of Kal-El, but we'll see. And we're out of time. Man, our time is up. Mainly because I am tired, because that's life. That is life.
Yeah, I'm tired as well.
All right. So let's get out of here, good listeners. We thank you for your time. We thank you for listening and joining us. Shoot us a message on Twitter, Facebook. I guess Instagram works too. And or an email at kryptonreportpod@gmail.com. Let us know what you think of the show or anything. Comments. We always love hearing from you guys. Let us know. All right? James?
Yes.
Get some sleep.
Let us know. What was that?
Get some sleep.
Oh, I'm going to try.
And remember, you can now pick avatars on HBO Max. Go pick Superman. Good night, everybody. And remember.
Look up in the sky. Yes, it's me, Sailor.
We just want to say, if you've enjoyed this podcast, please check out other podcasts on the Press Play Podcast Network. Remember to check out Krypton Report on all social media platforms. Go to linktree.com/Krypton Report. You find all of our information right there. $1 a month, you'll get extra special content that you don't get on the main show, like movie commentaries and whatever else comes out of our mouths. So check it out, patreon.com/Krypton Report. We're going to press pause and hear a few words from our other podcasts on Press Play Podcast Network.
Hello, Brooks here with the Books with Brooks monthly book club podcast. Here's how Books with Brooks works. We read one book a month and then we talk about it. Classics like Stephen King's The Shining, debut novels like We Are the Brennans by Tracy Lang, and tons of other compelling, life-changing stories, one book and 1 month at a time. So come read along with us and then listen in.
If you are like Tyler and James and can't get enough super talk, check out these other podcasts. Digging for Kryptonite, Supergirl Radio, The Last Sons of Krypton, the Superboy Legacy Podcast, All-Star Superfans, Superman the Animated Podcast, The Aspiring Kryptonians, Always Hold On to Smallville, Caped Wonder, The Geek of Steel, and Truth, Justice, and Hope Podcast.
This is Dan Jurgens, and if you want to have a good time, keep listening to the Krypton Report.